Welcome back to Etc. Podcast. I'm your host, Victor, along with my co-host, Mark. I thought you were doing it too. I thought you was doing it. Just fucking infusing shit. But how are you doing, sir? How you chilling? How you living?
Doing good and doing good and doing great. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, bro. Recording another episode, another podcast. Life is good. We growing. We doing what it do.
Yes, sir.
And we
yes,
better
sir.
than ever. Getting better, bro, every day.
Always.
Always. Grind
No
never
doubt.
stops. I know. Just turn into one of those podcasts. Like
Never stop.
we're changing our whole demographic. We're just turning into one of those toxic ass podcasts, and then we'll have 1 million by the end of the year.
True.
But now, bro, there's some stuff going on in the world, and I was just like, hey, yo, why can't we just be normal for a day? You know what I mean?
Never
But we
will
can't
happen.
do that. Some of the stuff is kind of old, but like I felt like this needed to be addressed. You know what I mean? Are you familiar with the Dalai Lama, Mark?
I'm not.
You know what a Dalai Lama is?
No, I couldn't say.
You know what one looks like?
Nope.
You know anything about Dalai Lamas?
No.
Do you know it's not an animal?
At first, I was thinking of it was a contraption of some sort, and
A
then
contraption.
yeah,
What would a Dalai Lama do? Oh, like a dolly. Like
exactly.
a camera dolly.
Exactly. That's exactly where my first head went to. And then it went to the llama first. And then I was having, some
just like-
battles between there.
It's just an old school camera dolly. You just attach a llama to like
Exactly. It's a
yeah.
contraption with wheels on it, but you have a llama on it and you attach the camera on the llama. And that's the
Exactly.
Dalai Lama. The more
Honestly,
you know.
I understood the llama part, but the dolly part never struck my mind. Like that's never where my brain went.
That's exactly what
But I'm gonna let Google help out and give the proper explanation of what a Dalai Lama is because I'm not gonna lie. I know what it is, but I don't trust myself to know how to properly, respectfully
Gotcha.
explain it. A Dalai Lama is a title given by the Tibetan people to the foremost spiritual leader of the Gelug or Yellow Hat school of Tibetan Buddhism. The newest and most dominant of the four major schools in Tibetan Buddhism, the 14th current Dalai Lama is Tenzin Gyatso, who lives in exile as a refugee in India.
Oh my God, I didn't know like living in exile was. Well, I know it was a thing, but I didn't know it was still around.
Yeah, well, I mean, like back then it was like, oh, you get exiled.
Exactly.
And they like remove you from a town, but like, like monks and stuff like that, like they usually live in isolation and shit like that. So
Well, that's I feel like more of a choice. I
yeah,
feel like exile though is like you did something and everybody was just like shame, and
yeah.
you're out of here.
Well, in this case, that's not what it means. Even though he should be exiled, he did do something where you should say shame. But yeah, that's the Dalai Lama. It's not a camera contraption, and it's not a furry little alpaca-looking animal.
Damn it.
It's this old man, and I don't know if you heard about this. Do you hear any news about the Dalai Lama lately? So with the Dalai Lama, right? Obviously he's like for Buddhism, he's similar to like you would say like a pope or a cardinal, a priest, one of those things, And I believe he was like having a like a speech or something like that, and there was a lot of people around, a lot of press.
Mhm.
And in a certain situation, a kid came up to him, small little boy, had to been 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 years old. And he goes up to him, or like I think he wasn't supposed to, or something. I forgot what the exact context situation is. I only remember the part that's like we're gonna talk about today. But the kid came up, and then the Dalai Lama was like, no, like let him come up. It's fine. Like I'll give him a hug. No problem. The Dalai Lama.
I'm the Dalai Lama.
I don't know why the Dalai Lama gives me like Emperor's New Groove vibes,
I was
even though
thinking
they're not
something.
like that at all. But he's just like, I'm the Dalai Lama. He wants to talk to the Dalai Lama. He's a little kid. What is he gonna do? Come up, come to Dalai Lama. So comes up to Dalai Lama, and he's like, oh, like I think he's like pray for like do a prayer over me or something like that, and he like puts hands on him, hugs him. Then
You know what I think of? Have you seen Game Over, man? Like the movie.
I don't think so.
Damn, never mind then. Because I bet he reminds me of like an actor who's like Indian,
Mhm.
but like they play as one of those like they were born rich and they're just kind of assholes. And they're
Yeah.
just like, oh man, come on, just chill. Come on, let him come in, man. Come on, he's not gonna do anything. Come on, bro. Like now I got a lot in my head when you were showing that. I was like, that's what I was thinking in my head.
Well, yeah, so he does that. I mean, he's not like that at all. He's a super old man.
I
But
figured, yeah.
so yeah, he's like hugs him, whatever, and then it gets kind of weird because the Dalai Lama's like, kiss me. And you know, like we're sometimes like really like they do like little cheek kisses. Sometimes, you know, obviously like Christianity, like the Pope, he's in damn, what that area called? What's that one little ass town that the Pope lives in?
If you said it, I'll be like, yes, that's it. But
Well,
I can't like think of it right now.
that
I'm not gonna.
small country that's like inside or whatever in Europe. They
Yeah.
all live there or whatever. And like over there, you know, double cheek kiss, you know, that's what they do.
Mwah, mwah.
So it's normal. And like I believe like I think everybody else was in that same intention too. It's like, oh, like we're just gonna do a little cheek kiss, like, Mwah, Dalai Lama, catch you later, dude. So like that happens, and he's like, nah, 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 on my lips. So the little boy, you know, he's like like he's like, I gotta do this right now. So then they like kiss on the lips,
Oh my God.
but then the Dalai Lama's like, suck my tongue.
You know, something I felt like I heard about this.
Yeah.
I just grazed over it, but I felt like I heard something about this.
So that definitely happened. He was like, yeah, like suck my tongue. And he's like, and everybody's like, what? Everybody's like, yo, like Llama, you drawn right now.
Yo, chill, Llama.
Yo, you fiending right now. You need to cut this shit out.
Yo, DL, chill, bro.
So that happened, and yeah, everybody was kind of like, bro, like what was that about?
Like, ooh.
So he got into a lot of trouble, and like his press and everything, like they sounded like a PR thing out, and like, oh, like the Dalai Lama said, you know, this, and that.
Sure.
And everybody was like, oh, like he was only joking, like, oh, it wasn't being weird. I'm like, yo, but you dead ass, like it happened though.
You can't.
Like we were all there. We all saw
That's what
it.
I'm saying.
We saw it, Dolly. Like,
Come on,
there was
Dolly.
cameras on.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's different if it was like in private, or maybe it was like at an event that there wasn't cameras at. You can say that,
But it was like a press conference
That's what
type
I'm
shit. Like there was
saying.
people around, people were praying, people were watching. There's cameras, it was live broadcasted. I could pull it up on YouTube right now.
You pulled your tongue out.
And like you told him like suck my tongue in his language.
Yeah, Dolly got some questions.
Yeah. And like for like the Buddhist people out there, people who like respect the position of Dalai Lama, I am not being disrespectful towards that at all. Like, you know, have your religions. Actually, you know, Buddhism, y'all got some good ideas.
True.
True. But this guy in particular
is doing
give me weirdo vibes, and I feel like he's disgracing the title of being a Dalai Lama. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's like you have the religion, but then you also have the morals,
the person
of being a human being. You know,
and you know what? And I had this conversation the other day with somebody, and I was just like, at the end of the day, these are all regular ass people.
Exactly.
They're all human. They're all flawed. So no matter how you want to act like they're on some pedestal because they hold a religious position, at the end of the day, they have thoughts just like me. I don't care who you. I don't care how long you've been a priest. None of that. The fucked up thoughts I have, you also have them too. And just be honest about it. I feel like it'd be a lot easier to connect if there wasn't that. Not all priests, because I've met some priests that are cool as shit, and they're like, yo, like I'll keep it a buck with you. Like,
exactly.
It's human. Like I'm not gonna like act like I'm Jesus right now.
Yeah.
But then there are some they're like, oh, I would never. And they're like act like they're just so good.
So let's
and
be honest. If it was $100 on the floor right now, and you were the only person in the room, you just gonna walk by it?
Yeah, like God blessing you like that. You gonna ignore that?
Exactly. How you know that's not from God?
Yeah. You gonna question him and his teachings?
You know?
But no, there's like, I want to say certain things right now, but I don't want to be disrespectful. But I'm gonna say it anyway. It is what it is. Do you? That's so fucked up. But it's real though. It's real because I've genuinely believed this, and it's so disgusting to think about too. But at the same time, like there's stuff with the Catholic Church and Christianity where it's like, you know, priests do some stuff. Well, they tell other people to suck their tongues too, little kids. So Christianity is not safe, and that's real. That's just a fact. Exactly. It's documented.
Exactly.
I know schools around here, and it's been in the news where shit happens. So it is what it is. So I am gonna say it.
I am gonna say it. I am gonna do it.
Because you got
expose them.
You got priests and nurses in the convent. I'm not saying this to be disrespectful, but do you think for 1 second
you said nurses?
Fucking
nuns.
Nuns.
I was like,
priests and nuns. They be in convents and shit, and they be around each other all the time. You mean to tell me there isn't a single priest and nurse that have had relations together? Tell me it hasn't happened.
I mean, again, we would never know.
But out of the thousands of nuns and priests out there, you mean tell me it hasn't happened once? I will put money on that it's happened 1,000 times.
1,000. Yeah, I could
And the
say
history of
maybe.
Christianity is old as hell,
No,
bro.
yeah, I could say that. I mean, again, I don't want to say based off of movies and stuff like that, but they kind of make it seem like in a sense where it's like, okay, let's put this scenario in play.
Mhm.
Two religious people, nun, priest. Come on, like you. I see
It's
you. I
we're
see.
the point the what?
I was like, I see you late at night coming out your chambers.
Yeah, like, at the end of the day, like I said, like we said earlier, they're human. And, like, shit, like, I don't know, man. It's
Shit
just
happens.
yeah, that and it's just like, yo, like, at the end of the day, like, you're gonna tell me that you don't have those same thoughts and you're around one, you're already sworn to never, like, do any of this stuff ever again. So you're already, like, technically just holding all this stuff in, you know what I mean? This human stuff that you just these whole human feelings.
Urges.
Yeah, these urges. You gotta fight these urges every day, and you just around these people all day. You mean to tell me that one bro, I literally saw, like, a TikTok earlier, it's from a movie, obviously, or a show, but, like, in prison, there are cops and prisoners that have relationships and shit, and they have their little stuff going on, and, like, a lot of stuff happens where even in PA, there was, like, a person that worked in a prison that, like, had a relationship with somebody that was, like, a prisoner and, like, got them to, like, escape and, like, help them escape and shit, and that's in a prison. Those guys put them in there, and they still find a way to, you mean, with cameras and shit everywhere. There ain't no cameras in a convent.
Only
What
God.
happens in the convent stays in the convent.
Only person that sees is God.
Yeah, so you mean to tell me that they ain't even if it's not to, like, that extent, they ain't exchange a little smoochy smooch?
Hey, bro, I don't know.
And that's not to be disrespectful, but I just think it's just human, it's just real,
I think
bro.
it's like not being disrespectful. It's just the thought, like you said, they
What are the
had the
you
same
put people
thought.
in the same even, dare I say it, none and none, priest to priest. It sounds so just, like, just messed up to
It
think
sounds
about.
wrong, but then also at the same time, like, aren't we supposed to, love everybody and who they
Yeah,
like their
and it's like,
sexual,
there's
relations?
nothing wrong with it, but it's just something about the fact that, like, these people are supposed to be holy people, and they swear they're not supposed to do these things, and they do it anyway. I'm treading on some people might be very upset. I mean, not nobody watches us, so we're growing, but we're not that big.
Hey man, this is coming back to bite us.
This might be the one, yeah, it's like, "Whoa, like, what was Victor on?" But it's just real shit, it's a fact, and, like, they won't ever admit it, and I'm sure they wouldn't, like, they'll never come out unless there's, like, some Netflix documentary that I haven't heard about, but I know it happens. You can't tell me that it
Yeah, I
doesn't.
would definitely say it
If
has
you
that
it's
happen.
just human. You put in any situation if you have a high school with boys and girls, they're bound to, like each other, or they're gonna see each other outside of school grounds or on school grounds. People were getting blown on staircases since the '90s, bro.
Hey man.
That's just what it is. That's what happens. People, they find a way to, have relations on school grounds. And these are children. So it happens. Or you have kids like at a sleepaway camp, or you have kids in
Yeah.
college, or you felt that one? Yeah.
No, no, no. I was just thinking in my head, like agreeing, like with the idea, like yeah, there's so many like different scenarios,
Yeah.
like you said, like camps, college boarding schools, like you said, there's so many different things
Yeah.
that you can really like say, like, oh, you don't think that probably could have happened.
It's like it's bound to happen regardless. It is what it is. How did I get here?
I think we were talking about the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, and human nature and stuff like that, and like it's just bound to happen. But that's not normal, bro. You're not supposed to look at a little boy and be like, Suck my tongue." Like
Exactly.
that just gets weird. Like I feel bad for that kid.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
And then it's like, what? Honestly, I didn't check or like look up like what the update is on that. Like that I doubt he got removed. They were just kind of like, oh, like he's gonna like be quiet for a little bit. That's all I'm trying to say. We human. Stuff happens. Although, if you make a pledge to do something, you feel like you can't do it, then what are we doing here?
True.
I mean, I knew a priest in like in my high school. There was one that was a teacher.
I was about to say, a lot of priests, I
I mean,
guess.
I went to Catholic middle school and high school,
This is
so
very true.
um, but he was married before he became a priest at one point. Like he was like he like had kids
He said it
and,
wasn't for him.
and like whatever, and I think he got divorced, which isn't that technically like a sin? Like, isn't that like not allowed in the church?
What?
Like, well, divorce is like in the Catholic Church is like very difficult to get divorced. Like if you marry through the church, it has to be like a very serious like
Mm,
situation before they like for them to like annul it.
gotcha.
Like I'm pretty sure there was a lady who like tried to get to the Pope to even do it, and it was just like, nah.
Jesus.
It's like you're bound together like for
You have
life.
no power? What is the purpose of you?
Yeah. Like, there were some circumstances where, like, you would think they'd be like, "Oh, like, of course we'll," and it's just like, "Nah, like, you."
Jeez.
So, I don't know what happened in that situation, but yeah, he, like, got married, everything, divorced, I guess, or, like, separated, and he became a priest later on, so he's just like, "Yo, like, yeah, I used to, do these things all the time, whatever." Like, so I'm just like, "Yo, you real like that's what the kids need, man. You can't you can't just be sitting here and act like you're on this crazy high horse pedestal and act like you're all perfect because we know it's not true, bro. We
It's
know
one
you
of
curse.
those.
We knew priests that smoked and like did all that stuff. It's just like,
Yeah. You need one of those guys that come in and puts one of his feet on the chairs. Like, look, guys,
it's
I'm
like,
gonna tell you what it is.
shut up. I don't want to hear from you. You're trying too hard. Not trying to hear all that. But yeah, man, Dalai Lama getting a little weird,
That is weird.
and I don't know what to say about it. Just people make mistakes, but
I mean, that's not a mistake.
that's just very
It's different if like he said something and then maybe like it got translated wrong, or maybe like the kid probably okay.
the tongue being sticked out was gave
See,
it
that's what I'm
away.
saying. But like, say like it was more so like the kid probably heard him wrong and then ended up doing like there's so many different ways you could do that. But again, obviously he deliberately said these words and everybody saw it, so it's like you can't really go against that. But
Yeah.
you know,
And what was I about to say about that? Oh, also, it's like I feel like I get it because there's certain rules to that stuff where it's like, oh, like for Dalai Lama or nun or a priest, there's a part of it where it's like, oh, you devote yourself to a life of like charity and like you can't have like possessions, or you're supposed to be abstinent, you're not supposed to have sex, or you're not supposed to have like a partner. Some religions are different, you can have a partner, but like you make these like commitments and you dedicate your faith and yourself to that stuff. But I feel like there's a part of it where anything in excess like that can like cause problems. Like I feel like it takes a very special person to even fully commit to. Like I'm sure there are priests or like Dalai Lamas or monks or whatever who like they stuck to it. They ain't skip or miss a step. They might have some thoughts, but they ain't skip a step. They ain't stumble. But for the average person, I feel like that's very difficult. When you even think about it in a situation where like even beyond like religion, if you have a kid where you like are strict as fuck with them, they gonna have all this shit like they trying to get out their system, and once they get out, they gonna wild out.
yeah,
And you see that in like college campuses, you see it in like other walks of life, or even just like high school kids, where it's like all their parents are like so like helicopter over their neck with stuff. The minute they get some freedom, they gonna ball out, and they instead of them, it goes from like they since you're so hard of them, it goes from them having a little sip of alcohol to them just like really going off the walls, and they end up like on hard drugs or like you know
yeah,
pregnant or I don't know what else. Because there's a documentary out there about like Amish people, and there's I forgot what the term is. It's like really funny term. Like this sounds funny, the term itself, but I can't remember what it is. But they get a chance, I believe, it's for like a week to like uh basically leave Amish life for like a week and like experience the world outside of Amish life. There's like a documentary about it, and literally like in that documentary they interview them before they head out, like, "Oh, like, what do you wanna do?" It's like, "Oh, like, I wanna go to New York, and I wanna see Times Square, and I wanna do this, like, I wanna go to a concert," like, they do like, it's, like, innocent shit, and they ask them all the questions like, "Oh, I wanna try McDonald's, like, I've never been to a drive-through," like, things that, like, we do every day that you would never think this like, "Oh,
yeah.
like, I've never experienced like that," and they wanna experience it for the first time, and I believe it was, like, the majority of them, like, all of them that were interviewed, is like, oh, they went and as soon as they got off camp or whatever, like, their area, like crack right away or like heroin and like hard stuff like right away.
My God.
And that's kind of the point I'm making was like when you live so constrained like that, especially for them, they're born into that. So
Yeah,
they don't have a choice. They just have to abide by it. And that's all they know. And then as soon as they get that little taste of freedom, they just bug out. Like, and if you weren't so hard on them, maybe they would have went to McDonald's and to Times Square,
true.
and they would have been fine, and they
They
would have
would
used
have.
the cell phone for a day and went on YouTube. But nah, now they got out there and they just went like they were just like, yo, I want to live a full life in this 1 week that I'm off.
True. Now they're done.
Yeah.
Now they're basically like crippled their life. That's sad.
You think the same thing when people raise their kids. They raise their kids all crazy. And then those people, they move away far as fuck to college because they want to get away from their parents. And then next thing you know, they at a party, doing lines, doing keg stands, jumping off of top buildings, doing Project X shit, getting DUIs and stuff. And
And
it's because their parents never let them have any free thought or live to their own, so they have no decision making. So when they were by themselves out in the real world, and one kid who's a bad influence was like, "Oh, you want to try this?" And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, give me that." And then
then
Dunzo.
they bring Becky home, and that's their new daughter-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I was like perfect with the amount of freedom and strictness I had growing up. So
And look at you. You ain't do no coke. You ain't do no hard drugs. You ain't got nobody pregnant. You just had a little bit of
no,
alcohol, and you
that
just
was
had a
it.
good little life.
Passed out a few times, but that's okay.
It's okay. You're safe is all that matters. You're a good,
Exactly.
healthy, level-headed human being.
That's all
And it's
that
because you
matters.
had freedom of thought and you didn't tell nobody to suck your tongue. At least nobody that wasn't the same age as you and consented to it.
And this all goes back to the Dalai Lama.
Exactly. It always goes back to the llama.
It always goes back to the llama on wheels with a camera on his back.
Exactly.
That's what we're here for.
That's all I got to say on that topic. I don't.
Yeah,
I've said enough.
it's a very interesting topic. Like you said, you don't know exactly what's happening so far with that, but I hope something is like more of like a let's like relax on this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like let's not show him the amount of respect we did because of that.
I don't think so, though. I feel like people are so like, it's like, oh, like it's the Dalai Lama. Like,
But I
who
just
am I to judge him?
I am me who to judge
Yeah.
him. That's who I am.
But you know how people, like devout people are, like they see them
But
as,
that's what I'm
like
thinking.
people look at the Pope as like, yo, like the Pope is the Pope. Like this is the closest thing to God. Like,
It is just but my thing is like again, I just think about that whole thing where you said, yo, like everybody has these thoughts. And I just think like if I saw that, even if I was devoted to their religion, even though I knew this guy was supposed to be this higher up that, it's like you said, closest thing to God, I would just be like, but like, why did he do that? Like,
cause like I'll be in confessions and I'll be saying I'll be lying sometimes and like I'll be
exactly.
arguing with my sister, but you asked a little boy to suck your tongue, bro. Like, I'm not confessing to you. You need to confess to me. I ain't
Exactly.
never done nothing that
That's
wild.
what I start to think of, where it's like,
Mm.
if I'm confessing to him, who is he confessing to?
Yeah, like what is it? Like I flicked a guy off in traffic, so I gotta talk to you, but you over here telling little boys to, you
Like,
know what I
I
mean?
don't feel comfortable telling
Yeah.
you.
What else have you done that you haven't told nobody?
Exactly.
Who are you in private? Because that's what your
Exactly.
character is. Your character is what you are in private, not when people are watching.
Exactly.
So if that's what you're doing on camera, bro, Dalai Lama, Dolly, DL, you on some DL.
we gotta have some conversations.
Yeah.
We gotta, talk about some stuff. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, even though, like, I would look at this person as being somebody that's so much higher, I'd just still be like, but like, why'd he do that? Or like, I would think like, is anybody else around me?
Is anybody else thinking what I'm thinking?
Exactly.
I think we need a new Dalai Lama.
That's what I would be saying. Like, I'm like, yo, like,
turns out he wasn't as holy as we thought. We got to figure this out,
that's
guys.
exactly what
We
I'm
have a
saying.
meeting. DL, can you leave the room for a second? Can we have a meeting?
It was like, yeah, what's all this? Okay, sorry. This doesn't include you though, Dolly. We'll be done in an hour. But you can see your way out.
You're exiled.
Shame. But that's why I'm just thinking, like, I would be like, yo, like anybody else like thinking this? Like, and I would start talking like to my family, like, what did you think? Like,
everybody's like, what the fuck is that? I don't know. But why but his tongue though?
Should we all just stick our tongues out
Yeah,
now?
like, he never asked me to do that. Why the fuck did he ask me to do that?
Exactly.
What is that all about?
Like, that's where I would start thinking, like, all right, this is getting a little out of hand.
Does he do this all the time? I just shared a drink with him last week. That's fucking weird, bro. No, I don't want to talk to him. You talk to him. I don't want to talk to him.
I'm sure like that's just like his guard. Like,
yeah, I know the people that are always around him. Like, yo, what the fuck? He never did that before.
No, bro, like you're always near him. Has he ever done this type of shit?
No, bro. It's like I just brought my kid into work last week. What the fuck was it?
I always thought something was weird when he was always trying to lick lollipops. It was always like his favorite treat.
See, I'm not bringing my kid back to work. That shit's fucking weird. Bro. I already told yo. I went home today. I told my kids, like, yo, if you actually do that shit, you smack the fuck out of him.
Turn right around.
Call me, bro.
Call me right away. Put me on speed dial right now. Oh man.
And at the end of the day, it's all human nature. We're all human. That's why I don't put nobody on no freaking pedestal, bro. That's why I don't want to meet nobody that I'm like, yo, like I love their shit. Or like, look at Kanye, bro. It's like I don't see him as a god or anything, even though he thinks he's a god. But it's like I used to love his work as a kid. Still love some of his albums. But it's like I don't want to meet you, bro. I mean, clearly you're already a weirdo on camera. What are you doing behind closed doors? We had this episode a long time ago.
I remember that episode very specifically.
And like Michael Jackson, rest his soul. Nobody know they're still up in the air, even though he wasn't convicted. But I don't know, man. I don't like. I feel like, if I met him, what was gonna happen? Mac Miller, God rest his soul. He was gone way too fucking young. But when we were to become famous, and I meet him, and it turns out he's a douchebag or something, it was all a fake, then I'll be really upset, and I can't listen to his albums anymore. Bob Marley, same thing. Can't be, if I would have met him and he's not all his music shit he don't believe in, I'd be heartbroken. Like everything is not gonna be all right. So I'm gonna go home and cry now.
This isn't true anymore.
I am worrying about a thing.
I can't. How could you tell me this? I'm always worrying.
Yeah, that's why it's better you never meet your heroes, bro.
Yeah, they do say that.
Yeah. There's a lot of people was like, yo, like you were a big influence on me as a kid, but if I met you, you're like, get lost, kid. And I'm just like, oh my God, 10 years of my life is just ruined.
Man, damn it.
Now I can never watch this stuff again.
Yeah, that would suck, honestly.
It's like with you, like you met Adam Sandler, he was cool though, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no.
No.
Don't tell me this.
No. It was just so quick. I couldn't really give you really good.
Yeah, but like from that, it was like he was cool about it, right?
Yeah, the person that was with him, again, I don't know who all these people were, but one of the people was also somebody that plays in his movies. I feel like I told you this. The guy would always like the messed up eye.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi was there?
Yeah, he was there too.
You never told me that part.
Oh, I thought I did. Yeah, he was there with them. It was him and him. And I think it was probably Adam Sandler's like cousin or something like that. And then there was another guy, and he was the guy who I felt like was a real asshole because
don't tell me it was Rob Schneider.
No.
Okay.
Trust me, I was like, you can't do it. But no, he was just like the guy who was there.
Paul Blart?
No, trust me, there was nobody that was in his movie.
Kevin James,
it was
brother?
a guy that I have no idea. But when I tried to take a picture, he was just like, yeah, like hurry up and take it. And I was just like, yeah, he was just like, oh yeah, hurry up, give me your phone so I can take it. And I'm just like, all right, bro.
That's probably like a bodyguard or something.
No, it wasn't. It was like
a writer.
It was a guy who was there, like who was eating with him, so it wasn't really that, but it was just like I understand, I don't want
he's filming Ballers, he got stuff to do.
Yeah, like I wouldn't want everybody to come up to me, I understand, and I was just trying to make it quick, but I'm just like, bro, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah. When am I gonna see
when
am I gonna see the guy from Click?
I will never get this opportunity again. Like grown ups, all this, like happy go. I would never get this opportunity. So I was like, yeah.
And don't mess with the Zohan.
Don't forget about those movies. But I'm just like, bro, like a part of me before that too was just like, I saw him and I'm like, I was holding back. Like I was like, yo, like I don't want to do it because I'm afraid of like probably making him upset.
Yeah.
Or, so I really was holding back. But another part of me was just like, bro, just fuck it. Like just literally fuck it. And
like the Dalai Lama.
No, nowhere close to that. I was not touching Adam in any certain way. No. But yeah, I was just like, fuck it. So I just went and did that. And he beforehand, like I feel like when I was walking while he was eating and he just got there, I feel like I don't know if it was towards me or somebody else. Probably somebody else, but I would like to think it was towards me. But he was just like, when I was walking in, he was sitting down, he looked over and he was just like, oh, what's up, kid? And I was just like, hey. Me? You just excited me. But yeah, he did that. But I feel like in all, I felt like he was chill. He was chill. Yeah, he was just doing his thing. Like he was just there to eat, and he was just kind of being regular. But obviously, having people kind of try to storm you, and try to take pictures, I could tell where it
gets old. Yeah, but he's also been doing it for like what, freaking 30 years.
Yeah, and I just think like you want to just get it over with as fast as possible. So I understand, and that's what I was trying to do, and Yeah, that was it. But
Look,
I think he would still be, regardless, still a
I,
really like cool guy.
I'm just glad that it went like that. I thought you were about to tell me, yo, he was honestly, he was kind of a prick. I'm like, no, not the guy from Click. So,
Hey, bro, I don't know what your infatuation with this movie, bro.
bro, I've seen it like once. I have no attachment to that movie at all. I had it on DVD though.
I did too. I had that on DVD,
His
on
picture is just
Blu-ray.
him with a
I had
fucking
it on Blu-ray. That's
yeah.
when Blu-ray kind of first came out. I remember that.
Mr. Deeds is my Adam Sandler movie.
True.
That's my shit.
I can't. You know what's crazy? I can't tell you what is my Adam Sandler movie. There's so many that I felt like I loved. I can't think of
Yeah.
it. It's not Grown Ups because like obviously that's
I don't know
more.
why Grown Up like it's a funny, good movie, but I don't know why it got so much attention out of all his movies. You know what I
True.
mean?
I think it's just because it had a bunch of other stars in it. Obviously, you know what I mean. Like
It's
it.
they're all the same people from all his other movies. It's always the same
Oh
cast.
no, not really, because you have someone like Rob Schneider, yes, and you have
Kevin James,
yeah, Kevin
Steve
James was
Buscemi.
in a few. Steve, yeah, he was he's in a lot, but it's like Chris Rock,
That was a new addition.
he's known him, and I know God, who plays Cusco.
Joe Dirt. I'm forgetting his name right now. Quinn's gonna kill me. He killed me about the last episode. He was so upset.
Oh my God, it's like
Um,
on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. I can't, I can't think of it, but
I got you in 1 second. I know it too. That's the fucked up part.
he's in a very few of them too.
David Spade.
David Spade. Oh my God, yeah.
He's in a lot of them. So
Yeah, but I just felt like having, I guess, more of it be like they're on camera majority of the time rather than just Adam Sandler, because that's what you would expect, like Adam Sandler just being in the front. I felt like you got a feel for every single like character, so that's why it was probably just like I don't know, it was really funny.
but he has like a million movies with Drew Barrymore, like a million movies with freaking Jennifer Aniston. Well, I will say he does have Salma Hayek in Grown Ups.
Huh?
Salma Hayek, that's a new one.
Who's that?
His wife.
Oh yeah.
That might be a good reason. Not all of them have Salma
Yeah,
Hayek.
yeah. This is very true.
But yeah, bro, like there's other like and Big Daddy's another good one for me where I'm just like that's like Scuba Steve, stuff like that. But yeah, for me it's definitely Mr. Deeds. That's like the first
That's
one
a
that I
good
think
one, though.
of. I love
I've
that
watched it a
movie.
few times for sure. I think it's like I haven't watched it recently, so I can't remember it that much. But I've watched it a few times when I was like younger, growing up.
And those, yeah, I mean, the guy's the man, the Sandman.
Yeah.
And he made a movie here with a bunch of Sixers players. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, somehow already we're already out of time. That flew by so fast. Talking
That's
about
what
the
happens
Dalai
when you
Lama.
talk about llamas, man.
Whoever is watching this and and if you're in touch with the Dalai Lama, don't assassinate me. I was just free thinking, you know what I mean? We're all
Drive
human,
home,
human thoughts.
tire just pops.
Yeah.
Next thing you
Again,
know,
I already had it happen to me twice.
next thing you know, somebody just pulls up behind you. Talking about the llama.
Yeah. I was talking about the cameras, man.
I swear, bro. Please.
I was talking about the movie Click.
It wasn't him.
But no, this was a fun episode. Appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate all the love. We're gonna keep coming and doing what we do. We got new episodes every week, twice a week. We've been doing it for a long time. You know what to do. We just waiting for y'all to catch on. That's all we doing here.
That's it.
But we love you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.